Hey, welcome to Let's Chat.
Let's
Welcome to Let's
chat.
Chat.
Let's chat. Let's chat.
We're back on your screens again, and thank you for watching our last video. This week, we are going to talk about a very important yet sensitive topic.
This is quite sensitive.
Yeah. We're talking about mental health and depression in the diaspora. And I think this is a conversation that sort of birthed Let's Chat.
It has been going on.
Yeah, it's sort of the
Foundation.
the idea that sort of conceived Let's Chat.
Let's chat.
Yeah, just sort of talking about the mental health among diasporans. Because it's something that we don't usually talk about,
We do not talk
especially
about
as
that.
men. Sometimes
Especially as
it's
men.
difficult for us to open up about those things. And so we've got an expert that would help us discuss this effectively. We have Dr. Lukman Enieje,
Dr.
MD,
Lukman Enieje.
and he'll be here to help us discuss this issue
Please,
effectively.
relax. It's Dr. Lukman Enieje, MD and MPH. Or is it
MPH.
MPH or MSc?
MSc. Okay,
Omo,
okay.
I go
it's
school.
Lukman Enieje, MD, MSc. Yeah, so
I go school, baby.
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Good. Yeah, we're happy
You're
to
very
have
much
you.
welcome, my brother.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
very
you.
much
And
welcome.
for those that don't know, he doubles as my brother-in-law. So I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. This your wedding thing.
Oh no, we
Yeah, you never worry,
we
oh.
will talk about it on every episode. Until yeah, so
You never worry me.
yeah, so I think we just start by
Yeah.
wanting to understand, Doc, when we say
Mental
someone
health
is
is-
depressed, depression.
Yeah.
What do we mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's a broad topic. I mean, a lot of people use the terminology depression, right?
But maybe you want to just introduce yourself a little before we
Okay.
go into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Dr. Enieje Lukman Enim. I'm, of course, a medical doctor, not a PhD. I mean, maybe one day we'll get there. We'll add it to the titles. Yeah, probably. But then for now, I'm just an MD.
Okay.
And then I also have a master's degree in cardiovascular science and diabetes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
amazing.
wonderful. Guys,
And for those of you who don't know, he's also the CEO and the founder of Colossal Aid.
yeah. Just check them out, Colossal Aid Africa.
I think
They're
he's going to talk a
they're
little
doing-
bit about
yeah, they're
Colossal
doing
Aid.
amazing.
I mean,
they're doing
yeah.
amazing
Yeah,
down
just-
in Africa.
Just a synopsis. Of it.
Yeah.
So what is Colossal Aid? Just
So,
something about that.
It's a charity organization. It was birthed somewhere in 2021.
Okay.
And it is actually a group of people, friends,
Yeah.
who came together to try and help people on the street.
Okay.
And ever since, it's been growing. So
Yeah.
initially, it was just in Ghana, but then we've tried our best to move through all the African countries. So we are in 3 African countries as of now.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's growing. It's growing.
growing.
Yeah, it's an amazing organization, and we have a lot of projects in the
Yeah,
pipeline.
yeah.
So you can check us out.
I
Colossal
saw, I
Aid.
saw your
So-
project last year, and I should say I should commend you. You are doing an amazing job.
I mean,
in
it's-
Nigeria, and even I saw television stations.
Yeah.
capturing
I do
their
TV
moment.
them
Yeah.
and all. Yeah.
I mean,
they
if
telecast
if
it.
there's any episode that we're going to talk about these things, I think you are the right
Yeah,
person for that.
certainly,
But
I'll
today
come
we are
on
going to
board.
go straight into why we are here.
All right,
And
all right, that's fine.
the conversation about depression and mental health. As my brother asked, what do you, in your opinion or in your scientific opinion, what do you
From
think,
the sort of medical point
medical
of view.
point of view, what depression is?
Yeah. So like I was saying initially, I mean, it's a broad topic, and a lot of people tend to think it's just, oh, I'm depressed. I mean, it's far beyond that, because to just cut it short and to make people remember what exactly the definition is, we'll just say low mood, right? It's just a state of being in a low mood.
Yeah.
But then I use the word just, but it is quite beyond that. It is broad. We have different types of depression. We have different causes of depression, and people even don't know that they are depressed. That is the worst part. You get?
Yeah.
So, if you take, let's say, depression, we have a minor depressive disorder.
Okay.
We have a major depressive disorder, and interestingly, we have a form of depression called atypical depression.
Wow.
We have a type of depression called postnatal depression. So it's a broad topic, and there are a whole lot of things that could lead to depression that a lot of people ignore. So hopefully by the time we'll finish today, we'll be able to cover most of these things.
I think it's quite a broad topic, and we will go into that one after the other. Even if you're not, we are unable
Yeah, I
to
think we can
capture
do
it
it
here,
over
we can
2 or
go
3
into
episodes or
another
something.
episode and
Yeah,
discuss that.
that's fine.
So
Very
we are
good.
we are mostly focusing on the African diaspora, mainly because the African man, we believe that the African man doesn't need what do they call it? A therapy, or the African man doesn't go through depression.
Yeah.
I think we were arguing in our previous episode that men do not cry and men do not go through these things. I'm not going to relate it to only men.
Okay.
If you've watched this movie Thug Life, The Hate You Give, the movie with Amanda Steinbeck.
I don't think I've seen that.
If you've watched that movie, it was saying that the men, the man who, because they were living in a slum, in a society where thugs, those kind of children, and the man was really suffering and bringing up the children and all those stuff. But even with that, he was going through it. Right, he was going through all of that, and something he said was, "Men do not need therapy." If you've watched a movie like Happiness, with Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness, all that Will Smith was going through, his wife had to leave him because he thought that he was not going to get that. I think that's the form of depression.
Yeah.
Because he was really going through it, and he had to swallow it all in.
Yeah.
It brings me to the question of the African man or the diaspora, and African diaspora here.
Okay.
What kind of depression mostly are we going through, and how are we dealing with it?
Oh, that's a tough one. So when you, like I said initially, when you take the causes of depression, you have different types, right? But then even within the causes, so for example, you have the physiological ones, which are basically due to certain circumstances, like being a female or some. There are those ones, and then you have the societal ones or the environmental ones, right? So one of them could be burden from society, or let's say too much pressure. I'll give you an example. For example, you are in a family of, let's say, 4, 5, 6, and you are the last born. Everyone knows that, oh, last born, you're having fun, you're the baby of the family, you get. But then in a family of 4 or 5 or 6, 7, you have your older siblings becoming greater people in the society. So you have doctors, whatever, and then you are the last born. Imagine the amount of pressure that will mount on you coming up, because it's like there is a pedestal you have to
to
reach.
achieve,
and then you have your big brothers achieving all those, or your big
the bar
sisters
has been
achieving
raised.
exactly.
That is also a type of depression.
So good. That is, yes, because there's that societal pressure, influence, everyone.
achieve.
Oh, your brother is this, your sister
brother
is
is
this.
that,
So there's that pressure there. And the problem with the African man is the fact that, I mean, it's more of what do you call it? Culture. It's like, okay, you have to go out, chest everything. You are the man of the house, right? So whatever it is that the house is facing, you are supposed to solve it. So you are not supposed to appear weak.
Okay.
You see, you are not supposed to appear weak, which is a very dangerous thing.
Okay.
Because let's say you go out and then you are facing problems, and you come home and your wife is also facing problems. You have to sacrifice whatever you are facing to solve your wife, because that is the whole idea of being a man. But that is also dangerous.
Okay.
Right? That is dangerous. And we try our best to encourage men. I mean, we try our best to encourage men to try and speak more, talk to people. Because, like I told you, there is atypical depression as well. And that, a lot of people don't know they are depressed. Do you know how it looks like? So, it is that type of depression where you are in your room, you are depressed. But when you go out and there's a whole lot of positive activities, you tend to join in the fun. It lets you forget. It lets you forget the fact that you are depressed. So you like the positive vibes that is going on, or things that. But the moment you come home,
back home, reality hits you.
And the truth is, back in Africa, because of the way the weather is, the way people are lively, a lot of people tend to forget their problems. But the problems haven't gone away. So they go out, they're having fun. That is why they think African men are not depressed. Exactly, because you go out, you are having fun, you are having conversations with people, you are meeting people, you are talking about anything, football, whatever it is.
Argument and all those
Arguments, and then ladies are talking about their bags and their shoes and all those things. They tend to find all these things interesting. So the more you spend time outside, the more you try forgetting about your problems.
yes.
And the worst part of it is some people can even go down to an extent that they tend to be alcoholics.
Yeah.
You see?
Okay.
Yeah. So you come to the UK, you're expected to carry that same narrative
narrative here,
to the UK.
which is a different environment.
Exactly. How many people do you go out to meet?
meet
This
every day.
weather.
You
No,
always
I'm
see
not
them.
going out.
No,
You,
definitely not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
the weather is too bad. You don't go out to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that form of atypical depression tends to, move towards a different direction. And people become severely depressed. You see men in their rooms, they are not telling you. They cry.
everywhere.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You see, that's the interesting thing. Imagine going out, spending your whole time outside, right? Trying to raise a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
And then you raise that money. The more you raise the money, the more the government takes more. So now you become reluctant to work. But if you don't work,
You won't eat.
You won't eat.
Yeah.
You see. So
Yeah.
I mean, there is a whole lot more than what we see. Yeah, to be honest.
So if I should understand it very well, the kind of depression that we go through is mostly atypical because if I would want to relate it with what I do understand from what Dr. said, because we live in an environment where you are not exposed to a lot of friends around, and for that is very dangerous because it's that births a lot, even the darker part of depression for you, because whilst you are back home, you have people around you that is going to give, that is going to erode those kind of things. But here, nobody's doing that.
No.
You are all alone. So imagine being alone in your room, and especially these things happens during the night. I don't know if depression and night has something to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it happens during the night. If it has, I don't know if they are friends or something.
I mean, during the night, everywhere is quiet.
Like, everywhere
You are
is
just alone
quiet.
with your own thoughts.
You cannot
Yeah.
close your eyes to sleep.
Yeah.
So it is also hormonal when you think about it.
Okay.
So you have certain hormones that make you lively, like the serotonin, the norepinephrine, and all those things. In the evening, other hormones take over.
Okay.
You have the melatonin coming in place because you have to sleep and all that, right? And also, the evening is calm. You see, God is so wonderful that when you study the human body into details, He has made the body know that, listen, it's night, sleep.
Okay.
So there is a whole lot of studies going on with a rhythm called the circadian rhythm. We won't go into that, but it's just the body's way of telling you that this is the time for you to sleep. And interestingly, when you are no more in that, should I say, exuberant state where you want to have fun and all that, that is where you tend to think about the most important things of your life.
Yeah.
Because trust me, in a way, it helps you sleep. I mean, you get it. The more you think, the more you want to sleep because the brain also gets exhausted. Trust me, when you think too much, the brain becomes exhausted. So that will also help you sleep. So it's more hormonal in as much as it's that night cool vibes, quiet and all that. Yeah.
Again, I think I will speak for others if I say that one way or the other, we've all experienced depression in a different kind of way. For me being here, and I'll use myself as an example because I know this is a sensitive topic, and our viewers would want to know the truth about it. And the whole concept about this podcast is to bring the African man to understand that no matter what he's going through, there's going to be a solution.
We must sort of raise more awareness.
Raise more awareness for them to know that indeed, look, there have been nights where I have been unable to sleep. I would want to sleep. Like, you want to sleep. You beat yourself that you want to, that happened to me last year. You beat yourself that you want to sleep, but you cannot sleep. The sleep is not coming because the moment you close your eyes, a whole lot of things are hitting
Running through your
head.
mind,
Hitting your mind. You need to do this, you need to do that. You are not doing this, you are a failure, you have not achieved this. Your friends, your mates are achieving this, they are getting this. This Sunday, somebody came to do this at church, and you are.
So
I don't know if you get it.
Yeah, I get it.
And you stay up from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Okay. So
And that is the time you are able to sleep.
Yeah. So let me tell you the interesting thing. We have a criteria we use to determine if someone is depressed or not.
Okay.
We call it the DSM-5 criteria, right? There are other
We are having a
criteria.
lot of times here.
So yes, so one of them is low mood, right? There's something called anhedonia,
Okay.
which is when you lose pleasure in the things you initially loved,
Really love.
right? There is either weight gain or weight loss. So depending on you, some people tend to eat a lot when they are depressed. Some
eat
people
less.
tend to eat less because they are no more interested in food or something. So back to anhedonia, right? And then there's that fatigue. There is psychomotor inactivity where you don't want to do anything. There is suicidal thoughts.
Okay.
There is sleep disturbance where you are not able to sleep. You try
That's
everything.
mine.
You try everything. Now, within this, there are about 9 criteria. Within them, if you have 2 to 3, we classify it as minor depression. But if you have 5 or more, then you are in a state of major depression. Right? In as much as you are in minor depression, you have to stay. I will still advise you talk to someone. Don't let it get to that stage where you feel
like
no. Regardless, the moment you feel something isn't right with you, start talking to someone.
somebody.
It is very important. It won't take anything away from you. It won't make you vulnerable. It won't make you
I think
vulnerable.
that's a very important thing to know.
That's
Yes.
very
That
important.
It won't
opening
make
up
you-
doesn't make you vulnerable.
Talk to people,
Yeah.
right? It could be your friend. It could be your friend. If you feel talking to your friend is even dangerous, then talk to a therapist. It's okay.
So,
And the thing is, luckily enough, we find ourselves in an environment where getting access to these sort of the psychological
privy to these
and
things.
mental health services are very easy.
Easy,
You know,
easier.
at your workplace. For me, for instance, at my workplace, there is sort of a dedicated helpline that when you call, it's strictly confidential. You get assigned to someone to help you.
Yeah.
If you need just one sort of meeting to talk to the person, you can meet once. If you need a couple of meetings,
I think
it's there.
yeah.
And most of the jobs that we have here, you know, there's that sort of provisions that have been made by employers and all of that to take care of their employees' mental health. So I think that's another thing that we should know.
Yeah.
Because when you know that the help is there, I think that's one of the steps that you can makes it available for. Okay, now I know there's help.
Yes.
Now let me try and open up to this particular.
There is a helpline for Scotland. I don't know. Maybe in our next episode, I'll find it because in my workplace too, there's a whole helpline for Scotland. It's a 24/7 service.
Yeah.
So anytime you're going through something, just pick a call and call them. I think it's toll free. So you just call them. Somebody's ready to listen and talk to you.
Yes.
And
I think even here that the mental health.
It's another thing. So Doc, you're going to go further. We were talking about talking to somebody, and if you get to see these things, if you get to have these things coming your way, if you get to experience these things, that leads to my question: how do you know you are depressed? What are the things? What are the things that you see, right, at the early stages that you have to talk to somebody? Because somebody like some people like myself, okay, I don't want to sleep. I can't sleep. If I can't sleep just one day, maybe it continues for 2 days or 3 days. Then I'll come and tell my friend. But I mean, to me now, hopefully I am game mad. So, is should that raise a concern?
And I think
for that person.
I
So
think
what?
maybe like as maybe the individual experience in it. What are some of the things that I can use to identify it? And I think maybe if they are different for a third party, for instance, or say a second person, someone I'm not going through. Let's say my friend is going through it. How can I, a bystander, also be able to know that my friend is going through that?
I like both questions, so I'll try and answer both. So because of time. Now, I already made mention of some things that you see, like the low mood, low mood, and all the anhedonia and all those things. The moment you see one of them, the moment you realize you are not able to sleep, and most of the times we say, okay, 2 or more weeks. When that continues for 2 or more weeks, you have to talk to someone. You have to talk to someone
2 or more weeks.
Because you are already moving in a state of major depression. So you have to talk to someone. Now, back to you. You said
as a bystander.
Good.
Yes, as an onlooker. How do I know that my friend is going through?
A lot of people don't know this. They don't know that they play major roles when it comes to depression.
Okay.
There is a diastasis stress model. What does it mean? It means that what might happen to you, which won't cause any form of depression, will happen to someone else, and the person will be depressed. So when I come talking to you, that this is the situation, I'm like, I was in that situation. It was okay. It was normal.
Come on,
it is dangerous.
Yeah.
The moment someone comes to you and tells you that, oh, I'm going through this, just listen. If you feel you know someone the person can talk to, direct the person to that person.
Okay.
Another issue is religion. I'm going to talk about it. Should I
I
shake
was,
that?
I was going to,
I was shake that table a
I
little.
wanted to shake that
And then
table.
we'll shake
I
it.
was going to,
And then we'll
I
shake
was
that
going to
table
talk about
fully in another
I was
episode,
going to
maybe.
talk
Yeah.
about that issue.
Yeah.
About the concept of the spirituality in the minds of the African man.
Yeah.
That whatever he's going through,
I'll pray.
I'll pray. Or he's going to relate it to somebody, his grandmother or something. You are going through depression. What has your grandmother going to do with your depression? Got to do with your depression.
I surprise you.
You can have him.
I mean, when you consider where we are coming from,
I possibility.
sometimes I keep saying this thing. I mean, it's just what I think.
Yeah. Yes.
I think most religious leaders should study some form of psychology before they become religious.
I think that's very relevant, to be fair.
Because when someone comes to you, it doesn't mean the person hasn't prayed about whatever is going on. Trust me, I believe in prayer a lot.
Yes. We all do.
I have no problem with what you believe in. But before I come to you as a religious leader, it is because, listen, I have
It is
prayed.
not working.
Yeah.
I just need something.
Okay.
Sometimes I need help. Sometimes I need you to talk to me. But when I come and you're like, leave everything to God.
Let's pray.
Trust me, we've left everything to God already.
Right
From the day we came out from our mother's womb, we left everything
We
to
can't do
God.
anything on our own.
Yeah.
So now, talk to me. If you feel as a religious leader, this is why I'm saying it is very important that most of these religious leaders should study psychology. Even if you didn't study it, just try reading one or two things about it, so that when people come to you, you will at least know what to tell them.
Yeah.
So if you feel the person needs a psychologist, you direct the person to a psychologist.
Yeah.
Okay. The Fama Nyame aspect is there.
It's there. The fashion I'm inside.
Let's leave it to God. It's there. But then again, talk to the person.
Yeah.
It could be, sometimes it's just financial help.
Oh yeah, sometimes
I mean,
some 20 pounds or 30 pounds will solve the problem.
Yeah, even me right now, I need money. So, so you see, so sometimes, if you feel it's a financial need that the person needs,
Just help.
even if you can't help, try to tell the person or find ways and means to help that person, rather than leave it to God. Yeah, and then some people have been in that situation before.
That's not what the person needs in the other instance.
No.
Yeah.
Trust me, the person has prayed.
Yeah.
You know where we are coming from.
Yeah, we pray.
Before someone comes to you, the person has prayed.
Yeah.
A lot of people only even remember their God when they are in the situation.
Yes, like that.
And that's how the African religion is such.
Yeah.
It's the African Christianity system. I mean, it's something we're going to go on another day where we only go to God when we are in trouble.
Yeah.
We only go to God.
I mean, I'm a medical doctor. I'm not a pastor.
I'm going to ask us one more question that about the African man here. Because I think this conversation is basically to educate the African man. Because, or the black man. Trust me, people think, what should a black man do when he comes here? When he's going through all these things, he said we should go and see all these people and all those stuff. Do you think the black man should eradicate that mindset that he is not susceptible to these things?
So, eradicating a mindset is a tough one.
Yeah.
You can't just clear 20 years of something that has been
built
in your head.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you can't do that, just try your best to reduce that stress on yourself. Let me tell you something. At this point, I'm in a stage where I don't want any stress. I try to limit it. So you know what I do? When I get my monthly pay, I don't go and check how much I was supposed to get. I'm not saying it is right.
But you don't want to go and
I don't want to see how much the government took from me because I'm trying to avoid that because I've worked and this is the amount you are taking from me. I don't want to see.
Last time I saw
that is my way at this point. That is my way of trying
to reduce.
There will be a time where I'll check, but not now. So sometimes, and expectations. People have raised expectations for themselves and from other people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
and that will cause disappointment.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, I'm here. I want someone to do something for me.
Okay.
If the person doesn't do it, move on. You don't expect people to do things for you. If you feel the person isn't doing it, move on.
Move on.
The more you go like, nah, I expect, you become disappointed. And you
Every
start
time.
thinking about it. And you are thinking about something someone didn't do for you, and the person is his house having fun.
Probably not even
Not
aware.
not
Probably-
even
yeah,
aware.
not even aware
And
that that's
another
what's
thing
going on.
is your own expectations. I want to be this by 25 years, by 26 years.
Yeah.
You wanted to marry at 25.
I thought I would be having 3 kids by now.
By now.
You know. So you get to that stage where,
When you are unable to achieve
and
that,
you look at people behind you,
And
kids,
they are probably achieving.
and they are
the things
probably
that you-
achieving.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's okay.
that alone.
That will make you depressed. So sometimes I'm like, me, this is funny, but sometimes when some of my classmates are getting married, I'm like, nah, I'm not looking at this because you know,
It gets-
you get. I'm
It
like, nah, I don't want
sometimes
to look at
can
it.
bring you some sort
Because
of thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I was literally sitting in the same class as this guy,
you
and
are
sometimes in your own, based on your own judgment, you're
Yeah.
like, this person, when we're in class,
Exactly.
he wasn't even showing so much potential.
Exactly.
He wasn't even showing so much potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you see those things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not.
I'm not,
I'm
yeah.
happy for you genuinely,
But-
but for my own mental health,
I'm
listen,
not sort of,
there
yeah.
are certain things I'll avoid, you know. But you are human, and a lot of people tend to forget that. People mistake your feelings for jealousy and envy.
Yeah. You
I think that's a
have
very
the right to
important
feel.
point.
You
Yeah.
have
You
that
have the right to
right
feel
to
whatever
feel.
you feel.
See,
yeah.
when someone moves on, right, or moves ahead of you, you have that right. Oh,
Feel
God,
it.
why me?
Why, yeah.
It's
Why
okay.
not me or why not me?
It's okay. It's okay. You understand the concept. But when, I mean, sometimes it depends on the delivery.
Yes, the delivery.
delivery
Exactly.
of the wine.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
just sit in your room,
Room
think
and brood
about
over
it.
it.
Hey,
Yes. Or you-
but when you also go out
And then you make it obvious.
make it obvious,
Obvious
then
that
it
one
becomes a
thing becomes a
problem.
Getting this,
You get
Yeah,
it. So sometimes these things do play a role. So me, I keep saying I have trained myself in a way, not trained myself, but then I have tried to understand how people feel, the people around me. So whatever you tell me, I try to put myself in your shoes.
Okay.
Right? If I feel I understand you, I'll try to meet you at that level. But it won't be always, of course. I'm human.
Yeah.
You get? So sometimes when people try, saying certain things that will make you think, are they jealous of it? Just try to understand them. Yeah, I mean, just try. You are also human. I mean, you also have that right to feel, are you jealous of me? Are
Yeah,
you this?
yeah.
But just take your time because you don't know what exactly they are
other
going
person is
through
going through.
at that time.
Yeah.
Before we end, there's this question has been running through my mind. I just wanted to touch on it. Maybe in the next episode you can help us with that. The pressures people down there are putting on the people up here.
I think
The expectation from them, because I think we have had series of episodes where we've been talking about what family is expecting on you, what is expecting from you, what people are expecting from you. So the kind of pressures, knowing that whilst coming here, they've sold family land for you to come here. So they are expecting you
To deliver.
to deliver in the space of a year or two. And in that same space, you are not getting a job. Things are not working. If you are going to school Charlie, you are failing classes. You know, that all those things are filled up in your mind. And the pressure coming from home. When it brought you here, you've not done anything worthwhile for us. So it's like we've
wasted resources on you.
resources and money on you. And that thought alone, when it gets to you, you feel down. It feels like, why? You have failed.
So sometimes it's not even the pressure coming from the family. Sometimes even you
Yourself, the things you want to achieve for the family.
Yes, you feel my family has done so much for me.
I have to do
Let
this.
me try and do this. It's okay to think about your family, but then if your mental health is unstable, trust me, one major negative effect or complication of depression is suicide.
You just want to end it.
You end it, and then when that happens, you are gone.
The pain.
The family's money that they wasted to bring you here
get it.
is gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
Now the family will have to bring you back. I think we were prior to this, we were just discussing how expensive it is to take you.
Yeah.
The family will have to bring you back, and you know African funeral.
Bro, they'll make money out of you.
Another sort of big expenditure.
Exactly.
Large
So
expenditure.
try. I mean, this is to everyone
Who is
back home. Try to limit the pressures on the people here because it is not easy. Try, and then if you are here, try to limit the pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I think in one of the conversations it was raised that sometimes the expectations and all that pressures also come from what we up here portray.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Because for
you don't have
instance,
money, you are going to
because for instance, you
take
can
the
walk into,
pictures.
like I said, that the charity shop and get, say, a Nike Air Force for £5.
Yeah.
That has been
£1
donated
shop.
to charity. You understand? Somebody back home that knows the real value of Nike Air Force knows it's costing you between 100 and 120 pounds. That compares to over 2,000 cedis. And then I wear that and I post, and then somebody down there is like, hey, Nike now, you understand?
The fact that
You can go online and get a used car for maybe like 500 to 1,000 pounds. You can use that to do your rounds. Somebody sees you posting in your car, be like, the thing is, we know what a car means and the value of a car back home.
Yeah.
Because before you can even buy a car, you understand? And so I think that sometimes to sort of, we also put some pressures on ourselves by sort of what we portray out there. If you haven't really had that conversation with the people that have these expectations from you, to understand that in as much as you see these things, they are not things that for here, back home we may see it as a luxury and all of those things. But maybe for here, it's more like me being in Ghana and I'm buying my normal anapakoko and anapakose. You understand? So that other part too is that where people have to understand that the systems are different. I mean, you can go for the latest iPhone on contract and paying 2-3 years.
yeah,
bro.
a lot of people
You understand? There's not that avenue is not back home.
Yeah.
You have to cash. And people are buying iPhones for over 10,000, 16,000, 20,000 cedis.
Yeah.
You understand?
If
So the
you
thing that
everything
if
is-
you have that,
everything is rosy.
everything is rosy. Meanwhile, maybe I'm paying
12
10,
pounds or
12,
13
13,
pounds
15
per-
pounds a
a
month
month.
for like 2 years or 3 years. Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and it's true. I think I don't know if we have much time, but
Yeah, we have
We just have a
few
limited
minutes.
so
time.
I'll just say the interesting thing about this is
Yeah.
you also have the right to reward yourself.
Okay.
Another
Yeah,
major
yeah.
cause of depression is burning out.
Yeah.
So it's like you do more
And you have
and
less to
you're
show
not
for it.
you are
and probably your boss at work is tormenting you. Your boss at work is tormenting you, and they are not rewarding you. You do, and they're like, no, that's burnout. So that could also cause some form of. So when you do something, just get something to make yourself happy.
Yeah. Wow. That's. I think that's a very good
I think
note to
today-
end on.
yeah,
And this conversation is definitely not over.
It's not over.
And I think that it would be nice if maybe in the next conversation about depression we have Doc here again, and we have probably
another
someone
psychologist.
from the spiritual or religious point of view where we can have that mix of a conversation
Yeah, I think
where
that's-
the medical aspect is in there,
Then the
the
spiritual
spiritual
aspect
aspect is in
also
there, and
comes
how maybe the two can merge to sort
together
of
so that we can see
deal
how
with this.
because that program man believes in
yeah,
spirituality.
because whether we like it or not, this is a situation that is very
We are
prevalent.
really much going through.
That is prevalent. We don't see it. I mean, the
We
point
don't see it.
at the point in time about a year, 2 years ago, I went through it like hard. But maybe the boys around me will not know because, like you said, atypical.
Yeah.
When we come out, you will still see me,
Yeah.
the lively, the all noisy me, and all of that. But when
when
I
you
get
go
back
home,
home, Charlie,
things are really not
you
working.
go through it.
Doc-
Viewers, I mean, we would continue this conversation in our next episode definitely. And like we have said, we'll have Doc here, and we'll have someone spiritually inclined,
to
religiously
help us.
inclined. I mean, we are all, we are all spiritually inclined, but somebody with
somebody
level,
somebody
like
who-
experienced
I get that.
person or a
Yeah.
religious leader.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. Because even though we are spiritual, we are not religious leaders.
Yeah.
So we would have that as well, and then we can have that mix of conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for having
and
me.
and don't forget again,
And
don't
Doc,
forget
thank
to
you so much
share,
for here.
like, subscribe,
and
leave a comment,
leave a comment.
and tell
What you would
somebody
want to
about-
hear, we are reading the comments.
reading.
What you would want to hear, what you want to hear us discuss.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we've got the men.
Yeah, we've got them, man.
Yes,
We have them, man.
we've got the men. So whatever topic,
You
whatever
think you want us
area
to
you want
touch
us to
on.
go into, we have the men.
can help you
Somebody's
with
trying to notify me that, and the women.
Yeah,
so we have the men and the women.
Yeah.
So we'll have
Thank
that
you
discussion.
very
Thank you
much
for joining
for
us.
today.
And see you in our
and
next
see
episode.
you
This has
on
been
the
Let's
next
Chat.
episode.
Keep watching.
Bye.